Hey guys, what is up? Austin, your aka Bowtie Guy 97 here with another video for you guys today. So I've gotten a lot of comments throughout probably the year I've been doing these videos about performance mods. You know, some people want to see more cosmetics, some people want to see more performance. You know, really the thing was, before I started doing YouTube videos, I really did everything that I planned to do performance wise. And I slowly kind of went over stuff that I've done, but today's video is going to cover everything that's done to the truck that had anything to do with increasing performance or anything like that. So before we get started, as always, follow me over on Instagram. That is at Austin04_Z71. You know, they see modifications, stuff like that, before I do it here on YouTube, as well as if I'm going to be at a show. And speaking of shows, this weekend, which should be April 28th, it's actually a day before my birthday, there's a Cars and Coffee locally in Roanoke. I don't have a lot of subscribers in Roanoke, so I don't expect to see really anybody there. But I do have a meet in Lynchburg, and it's at night, and I think it's at the Home Depot in Lynchburg. I'm going to put that information on my Instagram, just like I did with the Virginia Tech Car Show last weekend. So if anybody's in that area, I know a couple people that are on here from in that area, so hopefully you see that. Come on out, should be a good time. I'll be there, of course the truck will be there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So arguably one of the most popular mods is the cold air intake on pickup trucks. I mean, hands down, this has probably been the most popular performance that I've done. People have made comments about. I've made 2 separate videos on this. It was so popular. So if you've got any questions about it, I'm going to put the link down in the description. You can go check out that video, and anything that you've got to ask me should be in that video. But the very first modification I ever did was the cold air intake here. Now, like I said, you can check the video out. It's an eBay cold air intake tube with a K&N filter, heat shield, all that. I did feel a difference when I put it in there. It was mainly down low, and engine noise, it sounded a little bit better too. But as far as, you know, really seat of your pants feeling a massive difference, not that much. You know, in fuel economy, I did notice some difference in the fuel economy, but power wise, a little bit. I would say it probably was only a couple horsepower, a couple torque. But I'm going to get to where that played a big role in increasing power here in just a minute once we get to the third mod. But the second mod I did was exhaust. But see, this exhaust is new. I've changed it all up. You can check out this video as well. That'll be down in the description. The exhaust is true dual exhaust with an Xpipe, dumped back here at 4-inch tips out the back, and I will get down here to show you guys. The Xpipe is right there. There's the Xpipe under the cab. 2 pipes run all the way back, and there's a whole video on that as well. That would be in conjunction with that cold air intake. You gotta look at, motors are a massive air pump. You know, suck air in, put air out. So the more air that you can get through the motor, especially if you can put more fuel with the air, you're gonna make more power. So in conjunction with the cold air intake and the exhaust, I really did feel a difference with that exhaust. I used to have just a single pipe, factory wide pipe into a Flowmaster 40, and just the one pipe out the rear. When I did it, I didn't really feel a difference. Actually, I noticed the gas mileage difference, but never felt a difference. When I did this, I felt a difference, and I felt it even running on 35s. You know, if I feel it running on 35, somebody would definitely feel it if their truck was on a smaller tire or stock. The Xpipe really helps, and if you've done your research, you'll know that Xpipes and H-pipes do add horsepower over just true duals out the back. Famous video seems to be that Engine Masters one that Motor Trend did on the Xpipe, and you can go and get all your information from there. They did a good comparison and showed, you know, why the Xpipe makes power, put it on an engine dyno, showed that it made power, and that's kind of the reason I did it, was to get the power out of it. But now let's move into the third mod on the truck here that made the biggest difference overall. So I haven't said at the beginning of the video, if you haven't figured out, it's a 5.3 Vortex V8. I know we're gonna get so many comments here. I'm gonna go ahead and address this because there's been so many comments about it. Yes, the truck has the Vortex Max badge, okay? It's not a 6-liter. I did the badge way before the truck was color matched or anything like that, and I did it after I tuned the truck. If you really want to get technical with me, if you put this engine on a dyno with what I've done to it and you put a stock LQ960 on there, they're gonna make the same horsepower, I promise you. This truck will run with one. I have run with a 6.0 before. I have beaten a 6.0 before with this truck. This truck is no slower than a Vortex Max, just minus the 6-liter. I did it just to stand out, really. A bunch of haters and stuff like that. People have drove me insane about that badge. I mean, chill, really. It's just a badge. And you know, I get it. It's not a 6.0, but it is a tuned 5.3, and that's what I want to get at next. Is I did the Diablosport i2 tune. There's a video on that as well. It's one of the first videos I ever did on my YouTube channel. And when I did that tune, it woke this truck up. You could push the brake and mash the gas, and this truck would not spin the tires. I didn't care what you did. And this was like, I even had like ball tires, like bald little stock tires, and it wouldn't even do it. And if you've been a subscriber here, you know this truck will roast 35s. You know, when I went down there to South Carolina and did that competition, I burnt the 35s up. And that is, I mean, that all came from the tune. I used the crate tune in there, an 87 octane tune, and I kind of did a ton of research. You know, what should I adjust and play with? And I mean, I pulled in all this information I could and adjusted it. And ever since I did that, this truck runs awesome. It gets better. It got better gas mileage, throttle response, and just overall power was just so much better. You know, I can get on it at a stoplight and spin tires, especially on 33s. 33s, it would just spin for, it'd probably spin for 20-25 feet. Now it'll spin them, but it'll usually get about traction within the first 5-10 feet. But that's with 35s. But the tune really made the difference. It was the holy grail of anything I ever did to this truck was tuning it. It brought it together. And one thing you got to understand too, when you have the supporting mods like that intake and the exhaust, the tune is going to give you more. You know, if everything's completely stock and you do the tune, you might see the difference. But the tune is designed to adjust that computer to get more air and fuel into this motor and make more power for you. And the truck was already set up to handle that with those modifications. So that's why I felt such a big difference. Now, the fourth modification that is done here to the truck is the electric fans. Now, I'm going to do a totally separate video on these electric fans. This truck came stock with a clutch fan. You can see the stud sticking out right there where you put the clutch fan onto, and the whole shroud would sit here and everything. But I recently, well, not recently, it's probably almost a year ago, converted to the electric fans. Now, these move 10,000 CFM. The stock one only moved 2,200 CFM. This fan is so overkill. I upgraded the radiator size to the big radiator, and this truck will not overheat. I don't care what you do. You can sit there and rev it, and on a 110-degree day, it's not going to happen. The fans will kick on to high, both of them will, and move 10,000 cubic feet per minute. And you can take I'll show this in the video. You can take a dollar bill, and you can just hold it right here, and it'll suck it up against that grill and just hold it there. It's wild. I didn't expect to go that crazy with it when I did the conversion, but like I said, I'm gonna do a totally separate video on that. One thing you gotta understand about that clutch fan, it's robbing power to cool the motor. It's just like people don't like superchargers for the idea you're robbing power to make power. You know, turbos go off the exhaust, so everything's already used. You're not actually using any power to use the turbo, and supercharger is on that belt driven, and it's using the power. Same thing with the clutch fan. It was taking away some power, especially on hot days when you know, it would engage and lock, and that thing was just, it sounded like a school bus under here sometimes. And you know, I could just feel it bogging down. When I did the electric fans, like I said, I didn't feel it. I really felt it when I was already at speed, like going down the highway or whatever. I want to say that my clutch fan might have been broken. It might have been staying engaged. People said that was a common problem. I noticed a difference in power, and really it was top end power, bottom end. I mean, maybe on like the summer days, like I said, when it was locked, that it was bogging down a little bit. But really, I'm sure there was a difference. I just didn't feel it because at the point that I did that, this truck was on a bigger tire, wheel tire, all that. So didn't really feel it. But that is the fourth modification that I did. Now, I want to go on to the fifth, and I really only have half of the fifth modification, but I want to go over it because it is one of the top 5 mods that you should do here to these 5.3s. Now, the fifth modification I did was I did run a better plug. It's Bosch's 4-prong plug in here. It's kind of like the concept of the E3. They discontinued this plug, so my next are going to be E3 plugs. I'll probably change the plugs out this summer. I tend to do them about once a year. But I want to do the coils as well, the ignition coils. It's still the stock original equipment factory coil packs in this thing, and they're old, and I know they can't be firing like they used to. You know, I know I'm losing power and economy there with those, and what I want to do is I want to go to MSD. The problem is it's like $400, so it's like $450 to get the wires and the coils, the blaster coils. So I've kind of just waited, you know, really, and haven't done it. But I think the time is coming. And with that being said, if you're on Instagram, you'll be able to vote. Coming up here, I guess it'll be this weekend, I'm going to put a poll up. You'll have the option between 2 modifications. The coils will be one, and you'll have to follow me to see the other modification that might be coming. You guys will get to vote on which one you want to see first. But I would definitely put better coils and different plugs in these trucks. It'll definitely help you mileage-wise and power-wise. And if you were to do everything that I just talked about here today, you're going to feel the difference. I've had people DM me before wanting to know what the gearing is on the truck. You know, how are you roasting your 35s like that and all that. It's just 373 gears. It's the stock gears. It's just, you know, the tune and everything like that really helped this truck. And I'll just prepare myself to keep hearing about the Vortex Max badge, but I'm not taking it off. This truck isn't stock. It's not a pushover 5.3. I'm going to keep it on there because, you know, I don't mind. Somebody wants to line up to the light, I'm going to run the truck just for fun. You know, I may lose. It's not the fastest truck on the block. In fact, it's relatively slow in the ultimate scheme of things. But it runs good. You know, you're typically surprised at how well the truck runs. You know, even though it probably realistically would run a solid 15-second quarter mile, it still runs good. It's a great truck. It's been awesome. Those are the top 5 mods I would do if you had this same motor with the 5.3. You're really going to feel the difference. I hope this answers some of the questions for you guys, because I know this has been a hot topic here on my channel, was to go over everything that was done performance-wise. You know, of course, you can gain a whole lot more power if you do a cam and a head setup and all that. That's future stuff. Not saying we're not going to do that, but it ain't going to happen to this motor. This motor is too old to be putting a big cam in it and all that stuff. The future plan is to get a 5.3 and rebuild it and do that, but we are talking the future now because I want to get another truck here on the channel first. But that's a topic for a whole nother video. I appreciate you guys watching. Check out the other videos on the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Like I said, check out the videos if you got questions on that intake tube, exhaust, all that. All those videos are already on my channel. Drop any comments down below. Hit me up on Instagram in the DMs. You got any questions? I try to answer every single one that I get. I appreciate you guys watching. Take care. Have a great day.